everyone, this is GrayShot17.
And GrayShot151 here.
And today we're ruining what you think of your favorite vehicles in Company of Heroes 2
Yep.
by now going over allied vehicles and tanks.
Yep. We are going to be going over the top list of the the American forces, British forces,
Yep.
and the Soviet forces. Which tanks are the best? Which suck? Find out in today's video.
Yes, so, yeah, we're going to be going over all the tanks. And again, if your opinion does not match ours, just note that our opinion is wrong, invalid, and sucks. Oh, wait, is that right?
Yeah, flip it.
Sorry.
Their opinion.
Their opinion
Yes.
sucks. Okay, sorry, I always get that confused.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. But in any case, let's get to the allied tanks and armored vehicles, shall we?
Can we just start off with, like, the best tank
Oh, we're
ever?
just going to put this right
yeah,
there.
just throw it up
Start
there.
off with a bang.
Yeah, ISU-152. HE destroys
It is
infantry.
one of the best anti-infantry
Yeah, it is.
tanks in the game.
It's so satisfying when you just wipe an Oberstdon squad with this sucker. And
Yes.
you can feel the German on the other side just shedding some few tears. Also, this sucker packs a punch against tanks. The downside is you do have to switch between the two,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's totally
And
worth
versing
it.
something like an elephant or Jagdtiger, this thing is a little underpowered. But that being said, with
It
good
can still put up a punch.
with good infantry support, you can definitely push them back.
This is,
no,
it can still pack a hell of a punch.
Yes.
And it has a machine gun. Don't forget about that. Compared to the Elephant and the Jagdtiger, this sucker has a machine gun
Yeah.
that will be put it to its maximum potential.
But this is a vehicle that has such good range
Yeah.
that literally you could see the Germans charging you, and you can pop them so quickly that there would be nothing left before they get to your line.
You
It's
keep a front line,
great.
and you keep the sucker behind it, and the Axis will kill themselves. Also, put the sucker behind a point. It will hold that point.
Yes.
It will hold
It's-
it no matter what.
It's very good. The problem, though, is the fact it does have a gun turret that can't change direction,
yeah, you
so
need to
it can't
move the
be
whole
flanked.
tank. It's also slow.
Yeah.
It is slow, so they have
But
like
the
strikes.
power of it makes up so much of
Yep.
it. So that way, it's S tier.
Yep.
IS-2.
Solid B
Yeah.
or C, depending. Actually, I'd probably go with a C.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it has good armor. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong, and its mobility pretty good. But you're expecting this sucker to fight a Panther. Panther will win. I guarantee.
A lot of times
8
Panthers
out of
will
10.
win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you maneuver behind it, because the gun feels like it just deflects off their armor so often, and you'd think it'd do a lot of damage, but it honestly doesn't do as much as you'd think.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels underpowered for the heavy tanks. I think that's going to be a storyline you're going to see very much for the rest of these tanks, but
Yes.
it just doesn't feel as good as it should be, and
The King,
therefore
the
it feels
King
kinda meh.
Tiger might be better, but the Tiger's still better than the IS-2 in my opinion, which is why it's C.
It's good against infantry.
Yeah.
But I'd take an ISU 152 in a heartbeat over the IS2.
Yeah. Next up, let's go with something we would take over, a KV-8.
Oh, that sucker's S tier.
Yep.
Especially with now they buffed it,
Now-
so the gun can deal some damage.
Quickly,
Yes.
why is a KV-8 so deadly to infantry?
Because the fire. I cannot tell you how often I've seen blobs try to charge at this thing and fire AT like snaring, and then the infantry just gets blown apart by fire. And I don't mean blown apart as in like an explosion. I mean vaporized on a molecular level. They are just turned to ash and go away into the distance.
By the way, if you see like flashing, that's the storm currently outside. There's a
Yeah, there's a pretty heavy
storm
thunderstorm going
warning
through Austin.
Yeah, so great. But in any case, yeah, the KV-8, great armor, great maneuverability, great gun. Yeah, just overall
Also
really
a ton
good.
of health. This sucker can fight even like a Panzer IV. I fought 2 Panzer IVs with this thing and won.
Yes.
Because it has so much armor and such great bounce rate. It's fantastic.
Now let's bring something down a little bit. What
Yeah.
about the Greyhound?
Ooh.
Where was
I
you?
mean, does this have the AOP canister shot of old?
No.
Then yeah, this sucker is like this sucker ain't good at all.
Yeah,
Like,
it's fine,
it's a-
but
it-
I have a video of this thing losing to a Luke's. Like, it's not.
by the way, this is a vehicle.
and
we
a Luke's
understand
is not
this, but-
designed to fight armor. It's designed to kill infantry. If like the Greyhound can, if a Luke's that's partially dead can beat a Greyhound, the Greyhound has a problem.
You're using this to fight a scout car, I would
Yeah.
assume. But like at that point, just get like an anti-tank gun or like
Yeah.
get something like a snare or something.
I don't know.
I'd go for like on the tier of tanks list, you'd go for a Stuart in a heartbeat over this thing.
Yes.
Even if you do get the bazooka guy inside, it's just not worth it.
All right, so what about the armored car? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that Thunder and Lightning is going. I would probably give it a B tier because it's a solid tank, got a good bit of
Good
armor.
against the treads.
Yeah.
You can knock out
I mean,
treads.
it's a car, so
Also smoke.
Yeah.
So you could use that. I believe. Yeah.
yeah,
it
you have
does.
smoke.
Yeah.
You
And
also
then-
have a tread
Yeah, that's
that
what I
you can-
mentioned.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mentioned. And then also it's good against armor and infantry alike. And actually this thing it won't win against like a Puma, but it will fight and push off a Lux. It will fight and push off a half track and other light vehicles. So any German light vehicle will run from this thing.
Yeah, minus the Stuart, this is like the most feared light vehicle. Next to actually, okay, if we actually going to speak about that, let's put up the T-70 because
Yeah.
that sucker is probably A. It's right here.
Okay, so yes,
Because that's the only other thing that's better against infantry, and boy, will that thing slaughter infantry.
it will slaughter infantry. It's okay against armor. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think that it's about on par with the Luke's, but again, a Stuart, which is here. That's Stuart. I think it's a Stuart.
Yeah, that is.
Yes. Cool. So the Stuart is S tier.
Oh, yeah.
T-70s go against light armor and infantry alike. Again, it can hold back a
Stuart.
Luke's
Or
if
Luke's, yeah.
if the Luke's doesn't get behind it, then you have rear armor shots and the Luke's might win. But T-70 usually will beat it. But the problem also is the T-70, but positive is T-70 can be used for recon. So it has that where Luke's is basically offensive. But I do think the Luke's is so good against infantry that I would put it up to keep it at A. But the Stuart is S tier because not only is this thing not only can it be very supportive in early game, it can be supportive in late game. You can have this thing flank a King Tiger, knock out its engine if from the rear, or just stun it, and it will just be stunned, and the tank will be unable to really do much. Again, it's good against infantry. It's good against light armor. It can easily kill a Luke's, but also this thing could stop a Puma in its tracks if used correctly.
Yep.
So with all that said, and besides, it has repair abilities.
Yep.
So I think that deserves an S tier.
Yeah, it for what it does, it packs a punch, and it's probably my favorite allied tank of the game. I don't play Americans often, but when I do, Stuarts are like a necessity.
Yeah, so in any case, moving on from that, we also have, let's see, what other allied
Let's
vehicle?
go with the Churchill.
You have a Calliope on here?
Oh, we're throwing that in the F tier. Just throw that in F because it is the worst tank of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has no gun.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I was like, why the
'Cause it
hell
can't-
did you add that?
Because it can't shoot its gun. It literally is a tank in name only.
Yes, it literally can't shoot. Excellent point.
Yep.
All right, so any case, let's bring up the Pershing.
Solid A or B.
Okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
The Pershing excels, truly does excel at killing infantry, and I feel like it's good against armor. That being said, it's probably has good maneuverability. I would still probably consider it B tier because it's still weaker than it's on par with like a Tiger or something.
Yeah.
It's still a little more versatile than the IS-2, and I find it hits more shots than the IS-2, which, oh god, dude, that
Yeah,
thing,
it'll pen more and it'll definitely do more. I think I like that better. I like the Pershing with its upgrades better than the IS-2.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it still feels like the Allies just don't have that heavy tank minus the IS-152 that can really stand up to the enemy. Like
Yeah.
it really just feels.
What about a KV-2?
KV-2's an A.
Yeah.
It's bad. Okay, it's an A for what it is, not what it should be.
Yes.
Because the KV-2 should be like, yes, tank, boom. It actually is like pretty powerful, but it it's conditional. But it's okay against tanks. And what I mean okay is in if you're distracting the tank and it gets a hit in, you feel really nice because
Yes.
it does a lot of damage when it pens. But when it bounces, you're just like, it's just helping. It's not
Yeah.
really trying to be there. But against
But
infantry,
just placing
holding
this
a
thing
point,
down and firing over cover at enemy targets, this thing is great.
This is like if you only had the HE ability for the ISU-152, and it's not as satisfying because it's a slow build and then
Yeah.
a light explosion, whereas the ISU-152 was like
it's
instant.
like
yeah, exactly. It feels like a rocket. But the KV-2 packs a punch, and I would recommend it. Plus, you also have to keep in mind, as a support tank,
Yes.
it's very unique in that regard, whereas it will just hit anything in that radius. So if you hold a defensive line, the KV-2 will help out no matter what. Its turret moves pretty fast.
So let's add something that we can make fun of. The Bulldozer Sherman.
Oh, this sucker's terrible.
I do not like it. Some people do. But I would rather just have a base Sherman with explosive rounds than this thing that is only designed versing other infantry.
Yeah.
And sure, it can make cover. Great. Americans build tank traps all the time.
Yep.
It can destroy cover. Great. Amazing. That's, yeah. Oh,
Usually, the Bulldozer is like, yes, I'm the Brumbar of the Allies. And sadly, someone just pats on the shoulder like, there.
yeah.
It's okay. You can admit your failure. It's quite sad in comparison. And the armor's just not comparable to the Bulldozer.
Yeah.
It doesn't bounce enough. Cool, you made some heavy cover. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll keep it there. Next up on our list, what's this thing? Is that Jack?
Wolverine.
Wait, that's a Wolverine?
Pretty sure.
Then what's this thing?
Oh, sorry, that's the Jackson.
This is the Jackson.
Yes,
That's
the
yeah.
Wolverine.
Okay, so the Wolverine, what are we gonna place? Unlike the comic book character, it's
D.
I would give it a C just because of its great anti-infantry ability, where you can run over infantry.
It's not as good as it used to be. You used to be able to slaughter infantry
She-
with the hordes of Wolverines that would
I
cross the
can't believe I'm
horizon.
saying this. You send this thing into a pack of German infantry, I don't care if they have Panzerfaust and Panzerschrecks, they will run them over. I don't know how this tank destroyer is so good at killing infantry
Just by
on
running them over.
suicidal charges. But dear lord, Relic, you've done it. You've created the greatest Sherman, like, kamikaze tank in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty astounding how much infantry
Or
this
it's not
sucker
really a
murders.
Sherman, but you get the point.
You
It's
get the idea. This
You
is
can you can charge this thing and be like,
Also,
go run them over.
It used to be so much worse because, like, I remember you would mine entire
Yeah.
fronts for fear of the Wolverine charge from the flank and then just murdering everything from behind you.
So a Jackson, I think, is A tier.
Yeah, it's a good tank destroyer. It's a necessity for the Americans fighting anything higher than like a Panzer IV.
Yes.
and it's such a good. It does so much damage, and when you rank the sucker up, ooh,
Yeah.
so nice.
What about a Centaur?
Centaur.
I like it at B because
He's
it has
good-
good armor, good range, good anti-infantry.
Yeah, for the one again, like the Ostwind, the one thing you'd think it'd be best at, which is shooting down stuff in the air.
Yeah, what is with that? It doesn't. It doesn't shoot them down.
It's
I'm
very
like,
slow, and you're just like shoot it down,
Yeah.
and no,
it's
it
like
just
doesn't. It doesn't.
But it's
yeah.
good against infantry. It'll
It's-
slaughter.
yeah,
infantry.
it's really good. Like anything B tier, we're not saying is bad. Like it's a good variation. It's a
Yeah.
very good thing. C tier is like okay, there's a little some problems here,
Yeah.
but it's still fine. Like a Wolverine, I'll still say is fine versus light vehicles and even medium and heavier vehicles. But the problem is, the best thing it's known for is running over infantry.
Yeah,
And even
it's
though
not
in large
great.
groupings, the Stug is way better in my opinion at like large group tank destroyer fights than the Wolverine.
Yep.
Um,
So next up, let's go with something that's actually good.
Yes.
Let's say top left hand corner of the Comet.
I was gonna put the SU-85.
Oh, SU-85. That sucker's. I think that sucker's an S tier.
Tank destroyer wise, I don't think so. I think another unit is a little better. We'll get to that in a moment.
It is for the price.
But it does have range. It's A tier because you can extend its range and use it fully. That's the thing about it.
it is a downside if like you have a whole bunch of Panzergrens like
But again,
Skippy
if
did
you're
to my
supported-
port. They just turn the corner and you're like, what's that? And they just it just gets destroyed because it can't move fast enough.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it packs a punch. It's when it gets to like 2 or 3 stars, you better watch out. That's for like most of the allied tank destroyers we put in this tier. Watch out if it vets.
Yes.
Just watch out in general. But no,
So-
yeah, it's a really good tank destroyer, and yeah.
Where would you put the SU-76?
I mean, if this was the one of old, I would put it probably in S tier. But
I
now-
would give it a B tier.
yeah, because the artillery ability is now it costs something.
Yeah.
So it's not as good.
But it's still a good tank destroyer, and
Yeah.
you can use this in more, unlike the Wolverine, a little bit more of a like a grouping, a blob scenario, because it is very good. It's still it can penetrate.
good deterrent
well.
again. Good deterrent even against like German
Even the
medium
mass
armor.
artillery, it would cost you a lot, but the mass artillery of a bunch of them would clear an area pretty quickly.
Yeah. Decent against like a Panther if you get like a few side shots in, but I wouldn't recommend fighting this thing hit mono or mono. It'll die real quick.
All right,
But
well-
against like Panzer IVs and lighter armor, it'll do its job real nice.
While we're on the topic of tank destroyers, where's the Firefly in this list?
The Firefly is.
Is that it? That the Firefly?
Oh yeah, that's Firefly.
All right, hopefully it's the Firefly. So that would be S tier. That's the best tank destroyer in the game, in my opinion, because it has
Yeah.
tulip rockets to stun, and you can kill it. That's the thing. The SU-85, it's great because you have extended range, so you can get that one extra
But
shot.
there's a lot of times
the,
the tank gets out of range.
the Firefly will say, "You're not getting away." It's like you are not leaving this
You are
fight.
dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
the stun ability, especially if you get one with rockets, the other one then can fire on the immobile tank, and you feel real good. Or you just have like I've seen multiple times people just get Sherman Fireflies and fire the rockets like it's going out of style, and it's just like, okay, my stuff is gone. Like,
Yep. So next up, let's go with the T-34.
oh, this sucker S tier.
S tier.
You wanna know why?
Why?
Because it's really not a tank so much. It is just hell for the enemy.
Yes.
In a small Stalin-sized form, with Stalinium coating it. Sorry.
So the reason why, okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
As much as I want to put it as an S tier.
Yes.
It's good against armor, good against infantry. it usually won't win a fight.
No.
But the reason I think we're both considering it S tier is just the fact of how much of a dick the T-34 can be in terms of the RAM and how it can literally wedge itself in an enemy. You can stun kings, you can deflect them, and then you can call in an airstrike and kill it.
Well, the T-34 is cheap.
Yeah.
That's the whole gloriousness of the T-34. It's a cheap tank. And
It's
you know
a
what?
cheap medium tank.
It's a cheap medium tank that's good against infantry. But not only is the reason why it's good that it's cheap is because you're going to kill this thing more often than you're going to want to keep it alive. To stun a tank, to run it behind enemy lines, to like murder a whole bunch of artillery or something of that nature, you want this thing to die a glorious death in the name of Stalin. And truly, isn't that what we
Alec, do you have something to say about the T-34?
Yeah, T-34 is a B tier tank. You guys are fucking smoking something. It's good against infantry, yeah. Against tanks, not so much. And the RAM ability's been nerfed like a while back, so it's not even that good. And you have to hit it from somewhere other than the front to cause damage. Otherwise, it's just a temporary
bring it down
stun.
to A tier. Maybe Alec is bringing Ace is bringing us more into.
No, it's B tier because the RAM is good if you can catch it on its flank, but you're gonna waste the tank for a non-guaranteed kill. So you're sacrificing a tank no matter what. So in that regard, it's a B tier.
Thank you for bringing us down from our high horse. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a good versus infantry. If it was only infantry, I give it S.
Yes.
But versus tanks, it's a B.
So what do you think of our list so far?
What? Oh, let me check.
Oh,
real
yeah,
quick.
see,
yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Would you send a T-34 by itself to fight a Panzer IV? No.
So-
Panzer IV is gonna win that fight.
So Firefly and then,
Firefly. I would actually classify Firefly as A tier just because its fire rate is lower.
but the tulip rockets keep people from
The
getting
specials
away.
are what push it over the edge, I
Yeah.
would argue. 'Cause
The
you have the
SU-85
option.
was an A tier, and Jackson
What's
is an A
next to
tier.
it? That's this tier.
S Stewart.
For light tank, I put it in S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next to it?
Again,
KB
we're not
flamethrower.
just saying like the IS-2 because it's the
100% S tier.
heaviest.
100%.
ISU definitely S tier. T-70
Yes.
A tier.
C tier easily.
It's good against in the
Infantry
light
light
tanks.
game as a light tank. You're
It's
gonna
only
win.
good against infantry. It's not good against any light armor whatsoever.
Well, here, are there any others that you can spot that you would argue against?
KV2 S rank definitely can take a punishment and can kill tanks.
It's not as effective though as the
Panther
ISU.
SU-85. Actually, the SU-85 is a better tank destroyer than the Firefly.
Did Ghidorah get
Yes. SU-85 is way better than the Firefly tank destroyer.
There's like
So I don't know what
constant
you want
lightning
about that.
strikes going out.
Yeah.
T-34 is B tier. AEC definitely A tier. It's a proto Panzer IV for light tanks, so I think that's good. Pershing I think is good where it is. Centaur it's good where it is. SU-76 good where it's at. IS-2 CD tier. I'm fine with that. Is that a Wolverine or a
Yeah,
Jackson?
Wolverine.
All right, Wolverine is definitely C tier. Where's the Jackson?
Jackson's A tier.
Jackson. Okay, so Jackson is here's the thing though. Jacksons and SU-5s to me are better than the Firefly.
Yes, it is.
Would you also agree with the F tier?
F tier. What's that?
Calliope.
Calliope just using its gun.
Oh yeah, it's garbage. I hate it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it can't
fire.
shoot
It
anything.
doesn't
It
fire.
never shoots.
What's that? That's the Greyhound, which is bad. And then what's
Yeah.
next to it?
Sherman, a bulldozer.
Oh, that's easily C tier. When it hits good. It's like a cheap rum bar.
Yeah, but-
It's explosive rounds, so Sherman will do just that.
But yeah,
too.
you'd want a Sherman over a bulldozer any day.
I don't know. Sure, the Bulldozer Sherman.
the cost, no, you could easily.
I don't know. I think it works well. You guys are also forgetting the Sherman tanks.
We haven't put this up
we
yet.
haven't. We're all halfway through.
Yeah.
You just came in and started talking.
Well, because I heard someone say T-34 is S tier. It's not. It's a B tier at best.
Well, thank you, Ace,
you.
for putting us back in our place.
Yes, we'll
Uh,
keep. We'll compromise with
just
the
so
We'll
the
keep-
Firefly is not an S tier. The thing is with specials, it's good, but specials are limited. You have to judge the tanks by their merits.
And the merit is still pretty good.
Well, no,
Anyway,
the Jackson SU-85s are better. They consistently kill more tanks.
I would.
But they have better fire rates, they have better movability, and better turret traverse rates, at least for the Jackson.
So let
yeah.
us move on to the next tank, which is at the very top, the Churchill.
So this is base Churchill.
I think so.
Okay, so we have like 3 Churchills all in the line. So we have that Churchill, we got this Churchill, we have another Churchill. So
Wait. Okay.
so we have 3 Churchills.
the last one's an AVRE. The first one's a normal Churchill, and then I think the
Wait,
second
is
one.
this isn't this a Churchill flamethrower?
Yeah, that's the crocodile.
So the Crocodile would be S tier.
Yes.
Because it can fire its main gun,
Yes.
which is good against medium armor.
Has hell of a good
and
defense.
flames. Great defense and still good. Usually, again, if you combine this with the commander, so good secondary abilities. The Churchill, I would
Probably nay. I would
yes.
say it's a great tank because it used to be a good. They buffed it recently, and they've made it a little bit better.
In the Axis one, we didn't go over Sturm Tiger.
It's a. Yeah, we're fine. We'll make the
I'll
comments.
edit it. I'll edit it.
Yeah, we're good.
But in any case, where would you put the AVRE?
AVRE, for what it is, I would argue, is probably a B or an A. It's good as a good rate of fire, and it can murder infantry, but the downside is...
He has good armor, stuff like that. AVRE does have a faster
The
reload.
worst thing about this tank is the doctrine that it's in, but that
Yeah.
has nothing on this. I'm just saying this as a personal thing. Just on the tank alone.
It's
I would
good
make no-
against infantry and fighting blobs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push it.
As a high explosive, if you're going to hold a point, there's better options with like the KV2, but for doing what
for
it does...
British, I think it's the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
So I'll keep it at A tier.
Yeah,
because
sounds good.
the Sturm Tiger is S tier.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
So next up, let us go with, I think there's the...
Wait, so this is a Cromwell and that's a Comet?
Yeah.
So the Comet, I think, is C. I think for the cost and everything, it's just not as effective as it could be.
Yeah.
I think a Panther still beats it. I think that overall it doesn't have a really cool ability like a Blitz or something that kind of help it stand
Yeah,
out.
the problem with the allied armor...
It is armor tracking.
the
with
more
focus,
general you
but
get, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't feel
compared
as
to the
good.
Churchill, this thing, like Churchill could take a beating.
Yeah.
The Comet, not so much.
Yeah, and yeah, compared night and day, you want a Churchill anytime.
Okay.
But on the flip side, that as you said, the
Sherman,
Sherman 76, which is that one right there.
this one,
Yeah.
I think it's good against all targets. I would give it a B. I think if we're gonna go over Shermans, I think it's because it's general. I'll give it a B.
Yeah.
Because the other Sherman is so good against infantry, I'll give it an A.
That's
and
the
its
normal
its
Sherman.
decrew ability is
Yes,
also something
you
I
can
really
heal
enjoy.
it, which is amazing.
Yes.
Last one is the Easy 8, which is the black and white one.
Black
Middle, top row.
top row. Oh, this one.
Yep.
I think it's also like here. I think they're both very similar.
Yeah,
in
it
terms of
used to
their-
be better, but because of the nerf
Not
to it,
really.
it's-
I've seen 4 Easy 8s died with King Tigers. So I mean, like I said, being the jack of all trades doesn't really
Yeah,
help against all.
As the allies, you truly want something. If you want it, you have access to something that does a job very well.
Yes.
Get the thing that does the job the best. Don't go for like all round, because the allies, that's not what it's supposed to be about.
So next up we have the Cromwell. I think the Cromwell.
I'd say it's a solid B tier tank. Like for what it does, it can pack a punch. It can go toe to toe with like a Panzer IV and
Yeah.
whatnot for its tier. Anything below it is surely dead. Puma's dead. The
Yeah.
only thing I'd say I wouldn't want to face with that thing is the Panther.
Yeah. No, I would say so. I don't necessarily care for it, but I would still
Can
recognize
take a
it's
few
pretty
hits.
good.
It's not the best defense, but it's I mean,
Is there any other allied vehicle deployable that we're missing out of this? Anything? I can't really think of anything else.
there's the howitzer right there on the Stuart chassis.
Oh, but isn't that's the other thing? Isn't that like a mortar? Didn't we say it would cover mortars?
It's on a tank chassis.
But that being said, was the whole reason is it's mortar.
I mean, AVRE is
AVRE
is a very big mortar. KV2 is the biggest mortar.
Yeah, I mean-
KV2 is like mortar.
All right, so if
Take it to
we're
the next level.
so if we're adding this, I think the mortar carriage would be a B.
Also, you're missing the T-3045
maybe I'm blind.
right here.
Oh, here's the mortar carriage. That's B. Where do we put the T-3045?
right here.
Okay. Where do we put that?
Um,
It's good. It has extra armor and stuff like that. It's a
Yeah.
good tank. My biggest issue is that it can't hit for shit. It literally will fire shots constantly
Yeah.
and miss.
this is like what the T-34
That's what
should
the
be.
IS-2.
This is the T-34 should be, and it by getting better, it makes itself worse because
Yeah.
it just shows the flaws of the tank. So
yeah.
I would honestly put it as a C. It's kind of like the
I
Comet.
give it a B. Jesus Christ.
Guys, if we die by Ghidorah, that is
Yeah, all right. Well, we die.
yeah. Put
Yeah.
SOS to Godzilla, please.
At least we're not going out as badly as Dark Phoenix. I mean, that was just brutalized. Oh boy. But in any case, I think that's all the allied vehicles I can think of in this game.
Oh, Valentine,
Wait, where's the Valentine tank?
right next to the Yag Tiger, literally to the left.
Oh, sorry. I always get confused on that. Valentine tank, where would you put that?
More for the special, less for the actual tank itself, and
Yeah.
therefore, if you're going to based on the special, it's a C tier. It's
Yes.
very specialized, but what it does well. Like, you can use it to fight other stuff, but by the time you actually get this tank, you're not really wanting it to
Yeah.
fight other stuff at that tier.
Yeah, and I think again, if you move the T-34 down one or you move the Churchill up one, whatever you end up doing, this is a pretty solid list of tanks. And I feel like the ones we did point out do have fundamental flaws, and that we wish they were better.
Yeah, as you can see, the best tanks on the Allies are not the ones that can do
Are the
everything.
strongest? Yeah.
They're the ones that for their tiers pack the most variety and just do their
Yeah.
or when I mean variety is they have great specials, and what they do extremely well. KV-8 murders infantry. IC-152 either murders infantry or murders tanks. Stuart is just like top tier light tank.
Yep.
Firefly can pack a punch with some specials, and the flamethrower crocodile just destroys anything in its way.
Infantry and medium armor alike. So
Yeah,
and take
maybe
a
not
lot
the
of hits.
heaviest tank, but the light or anything below it.
Yes.
Gone.
But yeah, just overall, I think it's extremely. I think all these picks are really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, just overall, if you have a tank that you think is higher or lower, let us know in the comments down below.
Yep.
If you think that this list is travesty, let us know.
Yes.
But yeah, no, this has been Gray Shot 17
And Gray Shot 151.
going over the best allied heavy tanks, and next time we'll be going over.
Best infantry.
There we go. All
Okay,
right.
yes.
So in any case, we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Hello everyone, I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Malam, Ace, Chris Bailey, Javi, Jofo, Joey240, Josh, JP Val, Junior Chickas, Little Koosh, Mustache, Only Play Apples, Pyroshock, Rifle, Sebastian Marslick, Sergeant McPain, Streaking Wookie, White Hot D, GTA, Jacob Oswai, Nathan Angus, and of course Tim. Thank you guys so much for your amazing support. This has been Gray Shot 17 and my amazing patrons, and I'll see you guys next time.